In this video, I'm going to attempt dyeing the scales on the Tops 4.0 and maybe tighten up that sheath just a little bit and give a little bit of a better edge to the cutting surface. If that's something that you're interested in, then stick around for this video.
Damn you all to hell!
Hey, greetings everyone. I hope you're having a great day wherever you are. So the Tops 4.0 is going to get a bit of a facelift. I'm not a big fan of the color of the Micarta, so I'm going to just dye them black. I've got some leather dye that I'm going to try. I considered reducing some weight in this area here, but I think I'm going to leave that alone. The balance point is not too bad, so I'll leave it there. When you put the scales back on, of course, it's not perfect, but it'd be nice to take some out. I'm going to leave that alone in this video. In order to remove the scales, I used a T10, and you need 2 of them. And off over there, I've got a bit that's very similar to this in a vise that's pointed up. And I just set the knife on top of that and then loosen the other 2. You need 2. This is what the hardware looks like. It's 2 T10s, it's like a barrel, and the little screw at the one end. And I'm leaving them exactly the way I pulled them off. So in other words, the knife was like this, and the scales were like this. So this guy goes on this side, that screw goes in here, and then vice versa. You can see that they had them backwards here. So, but I'm going to leave them exactly the same. And if you're ever wondering what it looks like behind the scales of the Tops Micarta on the Cut 4.0, I thought that I would be able to remove this red liner, but I'm not going to bother attempting to do so. I'll zoom you in here. I'll show you why. You can see that it's extremely tight. It might be glued in there, so I don't want to ruin anything. And that's why I'm going to leave that alone. Plus it'll give me maybe a test surface when I try this dye. So I'm using just some leather dye. This is the type I'm using. I suppose you could use any type. I thought I'd choose this one over the RIT version. I've got a couple of dabbers here. Here's the sheath, some rubber gloves, and keeping the SOG power pint around just in case. So let's start by shaking off the dye. Good and shaked. Let's pull out one of these dauber type things. I've never done this before to Micarta scale, so I don't really know what it's going to look like. I'm going to use a used one here. Should work just fine. I think putting the rubber gloves on would be a good idea. Classic. Let's bring in this black leather dye. Okay, so here's basically the hardware, the way it came apart. I'm going to put it all back together in the same way. And I'll try to do this efficiently, I guess. And I'm still wearing the rubber gloves because there's probably still a little bit of dye in here. I just want to put things on kind of loose, and then I'll give it one more solid wipe down. Okay, so here it is fully assembled. These screws are nice and tight. I took a hairdryer and just kind of pointed it in this direction, got it hot but not too hot, and just kind of, I took some pliers and just gave it a little bit of pressure and just held that pressure for maybe about 5-10 minutes. And the result is a nice solid snap. It's just about perfect. So I thought I'd pull out the Edge Pro Apex to do this job. So the edge geometry on this knife is really good, and I don't want to change it. So I'm just going to start off with a 220 and see if I can get rid of the scratch marks on the existing profile. So I want to try and find the exact angle of this existing profile because both sides are looking really good. So all I'm going to do here is just put a series of lines in here. I prefer this method because I can see the entire length. If I cover the entire thing in black, it's not giving me exactly what I'm looking for at the beginning. Okay, so I spared you all the gory details, and I put a pretty nice edge on it. Is it wickedly perfect? No, but it's not that bad. I used the Edge Pro and then I shifted over to the Sharpmaker. I seem to have better results with the Sharpmaker than the Edge Pro some days. And it's whittling here right now. Let's see how it does with the paper. I think the sound says it all. It is really quiet. This could be the sharpest knife I own at the moment. So the Edge Pro kind of gave it that nice profile, and then the Sharpmaker just took it to another level. So there you go. I hope that demonstrates what I was trying to demonstrate. So the cut 4.0 now has a nice edge. Not that it didn't before, but now it's absolutely scary sharp. It has some nice black micarta scales on it now, and I'm pretty happy with the result. The staining on my hand is from the initial cleaning, so there's no more coming off. And I've got a nice snap retention on the sheath. And that's pretty much it. I'm pretty happy with the results of that. As a matter of fact, let's give it a little bit more here. We've got some mink oil. And I think we can make these scales look even better. Yeah, I think so. Now, micarta is a linen type material, so it's going to soak this up. And I think this is not a bad way to go. Yeah, it's going to give it just a little bit of pop. It's not so dull. Oh, I like that. Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be good. And of course, I'm going to be using this outdoors. This is going to be I think this is going to be my full-time, everyday carry EDC into the woods. In other words, it's not going to be in every video. However, it's always going to be around on my belt or on my pack. I think this thing has a lot of potential. I probably just haven't tapped into all its full uses yet. And this mink oil is sinking into the scales, so it's giving it a little bit more pop. What do you think? I think yes. It's not so dull anymore. Really nice. And it's got a little bit of shine going on there, and it's wickedly sharp. Yeah. All right, let's try this piece right here. Just gently touch it. You can see that. Very nice. Happy with the results. Tops cut 4.0.